Hello everybody, welcome to another video. I'm David from London and Home Counties Safes, and we've got something I'm quite excited about here today, and it's the sort of first kind of compact Eurograde 3 safe to hit the market. So Eurograde 3 means, for insurance purposes, this is suitable for storing up to £35,000 in cash or up to £350,000 in your valuables. So normally when someone's looking at a grade 3 safe, they're kind of stuck. Even the smallest one is 3 times the size of this and weighs significantly more. And most normal homes just don't have anywhere to fit a safe like that. There isn't, a spot that you could put the safe. It won't go inside a wardrobe or, something like that, whereas this will. So this safe is marketed in the UK by Burton Safes, and they call it the Amario, which, interestingly, the safe is made in Spain, and in Spanish, Amario means cabinet. So the Spanish manufacturer actually make this safe in 9 different sizes, and Burton Safes, quite sensibly in my opinion, have just decided to import the first 2 sizes. So they're calling it a size 1 and a size 2. This is the size 1, and I think this is the one that most people who need a Eurograde 3 are going to go for. The weight of this unit is 130 kilograms. If you were to go all the way up to the size 9, it's 1,080 kilograms, which is just an enormous weight. So as I say, available in 2 sizes. This is the size 1. I'll put a link to the size 2 when I eventually get around to doing that video. But for the moment, the size 1, the dimensions are 350 millimeters high by 440 millimeters wide by 350 millimeters deep. Regarding the depth of the safe, it should be noted that it's actually from there to there, and it doesn't include the hinges, the keypad, and the handle. Now, the handle is the thing that protrudes the furthest. And if I put my tape measure there, you can see that the handle's protruding about another 42 or 43 millimeters. So if it's going into a cupboard or anything like that, I think really you need a depth of 400 millimeters to be safe. So accreditation wise, you've got your AIS approved safe, your ECBS independent testing and Eurograding, and you're secured by design. Go into the testing a little bit more in a second. People often say to me with safes with external hinges, oh, can't you just cut the hinges off? Someone could get an oxyacetylene or a plasma cutter and cut the hinges off, and then they'd have the safe open. That isn't the case, and I'll explain that in a sec. So first, let's go ahead and open the safe. It's a battery-operated keypad, and there's a 9-volt battery that lives underneath there. There's a little plastic door, and you can replace that battery very easily if it goes flat. Let's open it. The default code 1 through 6. You hear the motor open, then it goes beep beep, and then you rotate the handle and you've opened the safe. So I've just thrown the bolts out so you can get an idea. You've got 2 bolts on the top. There's another 2 the same on the bottom and another 2 on the side here. That completely negates the hinges being ground off anyway, as I was saying earlier on. But you've also got these dog bolts here that they're fixed, they don't move, but they engage in these receivers here. So grinding the hinges off, not going to help at all to get into the safe by a burglar. So the ECBS testing that I mentioned, so this is certified to EN1143-1, which is the standard for Eurograde safes, and this is resistance grade 3. So ECBS, they're an independent test house. So the manufacturer of this safe will have sent an example of this safe off, and they would have bolted it down and attempted to open it, and that's how it gets its certification. So for insurance purposes in the UK, this is indisputably accepted for up to £35,000 in cash or £350,000 in valuables. Most often it's going to be valuables that people are looking at. These days, since COVID, most of the inquiries that we're dealing with for safes like this is all to do with the massive increase in the value of watches. Some watches, a gentleman was explaining to me a watch that he bought in 2016, a Rolex Hulk watch, Submariner Hulk version, was £6,000, and he's just had it valued at £28,000. So you can see, if you've got a few watches, you're going to need a safe like this to be compliant for your insurance. So talking about watches a little bit more, I've taken a normal size Rolex box and installed it in the safe, and as you can see, put it in the safe. You can actually shut the door, no problem with that there. You could even turn it that way, and you'd get you'd get 4 across the bottom, another 2 on the shelf, which is completely removable, the shelf. So 4, 5, 6 Rolex boxes you'd get in there. If you are a watch person watching this and you're thinking about boxes and what have you, so you know that if you have got a safe like this and you need a safe rated at this, you're going to have a lot of watches that all the boxes are not going to fit in there. So what are you going to do with all your boxes? The thing is, if the boxes go missing, then you've devalued your timepiece. So we suggest that you keep the watches in here, the paperwork in here, and the box somewhere else. Some of our customers buy one of our Bloomsbury size 4 safes and keep the boxes in there separately to the actual watches. What you don't want is, if there is a burglar, if they break in and find all these boxes, they know there's an awful lot of value in the property. So best to either lock them away, like I say. I'll put a link to the Bloomsbury size 4 safe now in the top right, or just hide the boxes. Hide the boxes away somewhere for safekeeping. So we install the safe for you. It's free delivery and free installation. That's what we're known for. Check us out on Trustpilot. We're the top rated safe company on there, and they're all genuine reviews. Some of them look so bizarrely fake, I can't tell you, but they're all genuine, every single last one of them. And it is very difficult to get people to write a review for a safe because it's such an intensely private thing. So from the thousands of safes that we've sold, you see a few hundred reviews, so they really are entirely genuine. And the safe has to be bolted to the fabric of your building in order to be insurance approved. Now, safes like this, the manufacturers, they test them bolting them to a concrete floor. So they want a concrete floor, 25 Newton meters strength concrete, and they provide a bolt like this, an expanding fixing, which is designed to be used in a concrete floor. This fixing, as you can see, is 6 inches long, and almost nobody has got a concrete floor where you can put a 6-inch fixing into it. If you live in an apartment, a modern apartment, we'd be through into the apartment below if we drilled a 6-inch hole into your floor. So we have to work around that in terms of the installation. So the manufacturer provide a base fixing hole. It's got this metal plate. That's the fixing hole. That's designed, as I say, for the concrete floor. That one's drilled all the way through because they just presume you're going to fix it to the concrete floor. And at the back, there's a partially drilled fixing hole for bolting it to a wall. And in 9 out of 10 people's homes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to bolt it to a wall. We probably wouldn't use that fixing. The brick walls in the UK are 9 inches thick. As I say, we just talked about the thickness of this. It's too deep a hole. We'd probably use some other fixings that we carry that would still be insurance approved. Perhaps a little bit shorter, something more appropriate. But we have a wide range of fixings that we keep on the vans that we use to fix the safes in. Best thing is, if you want one of these, is to send me some pictures of where you've got in mind for it to go. Most people have them inside a fitted wardrobe, and wardrobes have like a raised base, a plinth. This safe weighs in at 130 kilograms. If your base is solid enough to take the weight, and at the back of the wardrobe there's like a wooden panel, and then beyond that is a brick wall, that'll be okay. If the base is floppy, then that's going to need to be reinforced. We don't do that. You'd have to get a carpenter to reinforce the base so we can fix to the base and to the wall. You might have wondered what that is. It's a factory seal so that they know it's not been tampered with, that no one's, opened it up. I guess if there was ever an insurance claim or something and the safe had been opened because somebody had gone into the mechanism and disabled it so that it would open without the code, they'd have to be sort of quite a talented person to do that. The seal would be broken. The insurance company would know that if someone had been in there, then you probably need someone to have a look at the mechanism and confirm that it had or hadn't been tampered with. But that would probably be part of the insurance claim. Not that that's ever going to happen, or it's ever happened to my knowledge in the 30 odd years I've been doing this, but I just thought I'd point out what that is because someone's bound to ask. I'm really impressed with this safe. It's a lovely finish. It's really well made. You've got this lovely stainless steel plate. This handle feels incredible. Really solid chromium plated. You've got the motorized bolt work that I mentioned. I'll just let you hear that again. Not bolt work, sorry. That just, you'll hear that. That's the solenoid that gets out of the way so that you can open the bolt work manually. Huge, super thick door. No one's getting into this. This really is a very, very good safe. As I say, I'm hugely impressed with this. It's supplied with a certificate from ECBS, your Burton Safes instruction manual. Burton call the keypad the Pulse, which is a good name, and a little warranty registration for the dealer to put their mark on and date and what have you. What I'm going to do now is cut to another clip that I filmed on another day with another safe on the bench, and it just talks about the accessories that are available for at checkout when you're buying a safe from us. Just bear in mind that in that video it talks about a fire retardant wallet, but it's not going to fit in this safe. It just isn't big enough on the inside to take that wallet. So hopefully you're going to buy a safe from us and we're going to come and install it for you. So during the checkout process, if you are doing that, and thank you if you are, there's a number of accessories that you can purchase. So the first one is a automatic light, battery operated, 3 AAA cells, and it's got a little movement sensor, and that pops onto the underside of the top of the safe. And as you open the safe, the light comes on, illuminates the contents. Very useful for dark cupboards or wardrobes, things like that, so you can see what's going on in there. And then we have this, which is a flame retardant wallet, so you can put your A4 documents and bits and pieces in there for extra fire protection. We have a carpet base if you want a carpet in the bottom of your safe. As you see, they don't come with one. If you want one, then that's an optional extra. This is a pair of Faraday pouches for putting car keys in. Key cloning, theft of cars is very, very common now. You put your keys in here and the people with the dodgy equipment can't pick up the signal in the house to take your car away. And finally, we have this dehumidifier box, which you can put inside the safe. It's reusable. You can dry it out on a radiator, absorbs moisture, protects things from condensation, because you can get condensation form inside a big steel box like that. Also useful for keeping firearms dry as well. And these are all recommended accessories for your safe that are available at checkout. So having seen that video, let's just talk a little bit about fire. This safe isn't fire rated. It's got no certification for fire because it's not tested for fire. But you're looking at an enormous box, 130 kilograms of steel, solid steel, concrete lines. You've got steel on the outside, then concrete, then another layer of steel on the inside. It's going to be quite difficult for a fire to heat the contents of this unit to the point where the contents are incinerated or damaged in a metropolitan environment where the presumption is that the fire brigade will be there putting the fire out before it gets to that point. What we do recommend is that you put any contents in Ziploc bags. Yeah, like these. This is the actual branded Ziploc bag. You know, they've got this double seal at the top. The reason we say that is if you do have a fire, you're more likely that the contents are going to be damaged by water than by fire in a safe like this. Reason being is the fire brigade are going to pump thousands of litres of water into your property. Everything is going to be soaked. Having seen, the aftermath of a few fires, even relatively small fires, I'm not talking about terrible deadly fires, but sort of relatively small fires. The actual fire itself that I've seen, the fire wasn't that terrible. The fire brigade were there, they put it out, but the damage that goes on for months is from the water. So you can protect your valuables from that water by putting them in something like that. Hopefully it doesn't get to the point where it's not put out and it gets so hot that the bag melts over your items. But as I say, metropolitan environment, we're expecting it to be put out before that happens. In case you were wondering about the size of the size 2, this being the size 1, the size 2 it's taller, it's 500 millimeters high, it's 450 millimeters wide, and it's 450 millimeters deep, and it weighs in at 210 kilos. And has a capacity, internal storage capacity of 41 litres. I didn't mention that. So this one, the size 1, has a capacity of 18 litres internal storage. And also what I didn't mention was the internal dimensions. So as you can see, the door is extremely thick. We'll just talk about the door in a sec as well. So the door shuts all the way to where my fingernail is there. So your usable space is really that depth of the shelf, the width and the height. So it is internal 250 millimeters high, 340 millimeters wide, and 180 millimeters deep. That's your usable space inside. Yeah, so I mentioned the door. So as you can see, the door's enormously thick. So if you wanted to get something that was the width of the available space inside, you'd have to have the door open beyond this point. You can still use the safe with it just like this, but you'd have to have the door all the way out of the way like that. About there, in order to have full use of the width of the safe. If you're putting a box, like a jewelry box maybe, that was more or less the same size as the innards there, then you'd have to have the door open to that point. I say that because you need to bear that in mind with the location. You know, if it's going in a cupboard, and the cupboard is more or less the width of the safe and the door, then it would have to go on the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side, so that the door can open into the right-hand side of the cupboard. Mentioned about the dog bolts, that they lock into these receivers. So do all the other bolts. So the 2 bolts on the base lock into these very solid receiver plates. Same on the side, and there's 2 more on the top there. And maybe you're not looking for a grade 3 safe, a Eurograde 3 safe. Maybe you're just looking for a safe. Like you want a really good safe, a recommendation for a safe, and someone with a good reputation to come and install it for you. That's us. Then I have a video for you. I'll link to it in a second. It's quite long. It's about 20 minutes long. I don't know how long this one is, but it's about 20 minutes long. Well worth watching. You'll definitely know what you want and don't want from a safe once you've watched it. I'll also put it at the end of this video, so if you want to just carry on watching, it will be at the end. There'll be a link at the end, and it's linking in the top right hand corner now. And thank you very much for watching. I'm going to finish with a cartoon that we had made that explains how we work. We're quite unique as a safe company, but you'll see that now.
Free delivery and free installation. Your safe will be delivered and professionally installed by one of our own vetted employees who will arrive in an unmarked vehicle. Get in touch online or call us on 0800 711 7892.
And if you would, if you have enjoyed this video, consider liking it, and please subscribe to our channel. Very much appreciated. Thanks for watching.